tardes a todos y a todas. Estamos empezando la segunda sesión del Tel Aviv University Innovation Day, organizado por los amigos en Argentina de la Universidad de Tel Aviv. Mi nombre es Sebastián Bortnik, soy experto en seguridad informática y es un placer para mí estar liderando o haciendo anfitrión de esta segunda sesión, donde vamos a estar hablando de inteligencia artificial y ciberseguridad, sobre la protección de los datos personales y de la información. Hoy tenemos tres sesiones súper interesantes. Están hablando el doctor MENDEL, el doctor MENNY BARZILAY de la Universidad de Tel Aviv. Las charlas fueron grabadas porque son en inglés y han sido subtituladas para facilitar y que las puedan disfrutar. La verdad que nos esperan tres charlas muy, pero muy interesantes. Y antes de entrar en las conferencias, quería, a modo introductorio, dejar ciertas bases para todos los que están aquí escuchando respecto a qué es la seguridad informática, y aunque sea abrir un poco el juego, porque ya van a ver que en las próximas charlas se va a profundizar sobre estos temas, sobre por qué es tan importante o por qué se habla tanto hoy en día de la seguridad de la información. Estamos, sin lugar a dudas, se habla de la era de la información. Estamos en un momento en donde la información vale mucho más que otras cosas, incluso tangibles, ¿no? Yo siempre cuento que por ahí muchos que están aquí escuchando no se acordarán, pero hace unos años Facebook compró WhatsApp. Hoy todos nos acostumbramos a que Facebook sea el dueño de WhatsApp. Pero esto ocurrió hace no tantos años, si no me equivoco, menos de 5 años. Y WhatsApp en ese momento era una aplicación gratuita, es decir, lo sigue siendo, no tiene ingresos monetarios, nadie paga por usar WhatsApp, ni tiene publicidades, no tiene anunciantes, que usaban muchas personas en todo el mundo que tenían una serie de empleados, algunas oficinas, unas decenas de empleados y nada más. Y Facebook pagó por WhatsApp 17.000 millones de dólares. ¿Bien? Es decir, una empresa casi sin tangibles, casi sin oficinas, casi sin equipamiento informático, con muy pocos empleados, pero con mucha información, se convirtió en una empresa de muchísimo valor que fue adquirida por uno de los gigantes tecnológicos en la actualidad. Si nos vamos un poquito más cerca, hace unas pocas semanas, un ataque informático a Colonial Pipeline en Estados Unidos, una de las grandes transportadoras de petróleo, hizo que en la costa oeste durante muchas horas no se pueda transportar petróleo, y ante la falta de suministro eso hizo que suba el valor del petróleo ese mismo día, todo producto de un ataque informático. Un ataque similar hace unos años en un hospital en Alemania hizo que el hospital tarde 3 días hasta poder recomponer 100% su operación. En este momento hay una investigación en curso porque una paciente que llegó en estado crítico por las deficiencias del sistema informático, que había sufrido un ataque informático, tuvo que ser trasladada a otro hospital a 35 kilómetros de distancia y no llegó con vida al segundo hospital, mientras sí lo había hecho, probablemente en estado crítico, al primer hospital. Hoy en día hay una investigación respecto a la negligencia en el manejo de la protección de la información que impidió que esta mujer pueda ser atendida al primer hospital al que llegó. Obviamente con la salvedad que es una investigación en curso y que por supuesto se puede llegar a la conclusión de que esa muerte no era evitable, pero claramente nos marca la criticidad. Es decir, hoy en día, cuidar la información implica cuidar mucho dinero, implica cuidar el dinero de muchas personas, porque uno puede afectar el bolsillo de muchas personas, implica cuidar operaciones sustanciales, implica hasta en muchos casos cuidar la integridad y la vida de las personas. Yo ya en breve van a ser casi 20 años, van a ser 20 años que me dedico a esto, y es increíble lo que ha cambiado. Algo van a comentar en las charlas que se vienen a continuación, pero es impresionante lo que se ha modificado el mundo y la industria de la seguridad informática. Para que ustedes se den una idea, hoy en día se estima que hacen falta 2 millones de profesionales en seguridad informática en el mundo que no existen. Es decir, la necesidad de las organizaciones, de las empresas, por cuidar la información, creció mucho más rápido que la capacidad de generar profesionales que tenemos y que hay en todos los países del mundo. Esto lo marco como una referencia respecto a lo que ha ocurrido, es decir, una disciplina que hace 30 años era prácticamente inexistente, hoy se ha vuelto una parte sustancial para la vida de las personas, ¿bien?, porque a todos nosotros nos puede ocurrir un incidente informático. Constantemente me escribe gente que tuvo problemas con sus sistemas, que perdió toda su información, o que sufrió una estafa informática. Hoy en día están a la orden del día las estafas informáticas, gente que le roban dinero del home banking, las personas, las empresas, como les acabo de contar, u organizaciones que pueden sufrir ataques informáticos, y también los estados. Es decir, en los tres niveles, individuos, organizaciones y estados, aparecen la necesidad de proteger la información como una necesidad cada vez más sustancial, cada vez más importante para la operatoria diaria, sea la operatoria diaria de una persona, la necesidad de poder trabajar, de poder vivir tranquilo, de que nuestro dinero esté cuidado, de que nuestra privacidad esté cuidada, sea la operatoria de una organización que implique poder ejecutar nuestro trabajo, que sea transportar petróleo, atender pacientes o lo que fuera, que esté cuidado el dinero de las organizaciones, y también una parte sustancial para los estados, es decir, hoy lo que se llama infraestructuras críticas, ¿bien? Es decir, la electricidad, todos los servicios básicos, el transporte, la necesidad de monitoreo, la seguridad en muchos casos, están muy influenciadas por los sistemas informáticos y por la información. Y por ende, invertir en seguridad informática ha pasado de ser un lujo a prácticamente una obligación. Al mismo tiempo, y se va a profundizar un poquito en las charlas, y me quiero guardar algo de material para las conclusiones, al mismo tiempo se está avanzando muchísimo en términos de regulaciones. En los últimos años, los últimos 10, 12, 15 años, nos hemos encontrado cada vez más con que cuidar la información que tenemos, especialmente en los mundos corporativos y estados, ya no es algo que se desea, sino que puede ser una obligación incluso legal, y descuidar esto puede implicar serios problemas, no solo económicos, sino también legales, para las organizaciones y para los individuos. ¿Bien? Normativas como PCI, como la ISO 27001, o la reciente GDPR, que es la normativa de privacidad de datos en Europa, son solo algunos ejemplos, o HIPAA, que es la normativa de seguridad informática para instituciones de salud, son solo algunos ejemplos de cómo el mundo está prestando cada vez más atención y entendiendo que, insisto, la seguridad informática ya no es una opción, sino una necesidad. En ese contexto es que vamos a escuchar estas interesantes charlas que se vienen, y yo igualmente voy a volver al finalizar esta segunda sesión y voy a compartir con ustedes algunas conclusiones que saqué de haber visto las charlas, y que espero que ustedes disfruten tanto como las disfruté yo. Sin más, los dejo con los conferencistas y nos vemos en unos minutos para las conclusiones. Muchas gracias y que lo disfruten.
This marvelous conference. My name is Jacob MENDEL, and I am the head of the cybersecurity study at the Kohler School of Management here at Tel Aviv University. And I want to say thank you very much to the organizer inviting me to give this talk for you here in your conference. And the special thing that we will focus today is around the importance of cybersecurity, innovation, and also we will talk about some blockchain stuff which are related to all of these things. With that, I would like to share my presentation with you. So give me 1 second so I can activate the presentation, and we jump into it immediately. Here is it, coming up quickly to all of us. Great. I have here multiple screens so we can see this. Okay, great. Here you have my contact details. Don't hesitate to contact me with any question, anything that you need. So we will talk about cyber threats and how we can make cyber even a business opportunity for us. In that sense, I would like to ask you a very fundamental question. Do you ready for the next thing? Because cybersecurity is very similar even to COVID-19. It's come in surprise. What we learned in the past, not relevant to what is going to come. Cybersecurity, in the nutshell, it's always challenging with new type of attacks. Because normally our assumption, not everybody is following that, unfortunately, that when a cybersecurity vulnerability is announced, companies and organizations and institutes are fixing the problem. And then the attacker needs to come with a new approach, with something different. That means whatever you will do in your organization, you will be hacked. Now, the point is, in what type of technologies you should focus and why cybersecurity is important. Let me explain, please. So for that, there is a marvelous work which has been done by two professors from Maryland University, and they stated this as ABCD. And ABCD stands for the most advanced technologies that we should look on it. The first one is artificial intelligence and machine learning. The second one for B is blockchain. C stands for cybersecurity, and D stands for data analytics. This is the fundamental new technologies which we need to focus, and cybersecurity is one of the most important ones around this. Let me ask you a question, please. I'm sure everybody here are familiar with these logos. You see here Instagram, Uber, Alibaba, Airbnb, Facebook. What is common to all of these logos? Who would like to give me an answer? Correct. You are absolutely right. The common things between them is the way that they are doing business based on our data. Our data is what is driving these companies. That means data is the engine which creates revenue for them. And we also look on this and we are saying that data today, it's something that we can compare to the oil industry in the past. Because if oil was the most important things in the 18th century, in 21st century, oil equal data, or data equal oil. So data become the most important thing. And if data become the most important thing, then we need to look into cyber. If in the past cyber require physical penetration, physical checking, physical digging into the trash, today you can sit any place in the world and attack remotely and hide yourself whenever you want. This really creates for us a new challenge. And this is also part of the anomaly of the cybersecurity paradigm, that you can be anywhere, hiding yourself just with a laptop and attacking big organizations and create huge damages. This is also related to our privacy. Do you think that the big companies, organizations, take care for our privacy? Let me look. Let me explain. I don't know if one of you here has an email account at Yahoo, but look at what in Yahoo. And this is a quote, okay? I'm not giving my personal opinion here because I want to be also very careful. I'm giving you a quote. I just cut and paste this from the magazine here. You see here an inside cybersecurity threat is also critical, not only from external to the organization cybersecurity are coming, they're also coming from inside. Look around this employee at Yahoo that he were want to look on the just 6,000 email account of females to look on their intimate pictures. He had the possibility to do it, and he do it. For us, it's another cybersecurity from inside. So cybersecurity attack can come from both directions, from outside the organization with different motivation and from inside. This is why our challenges is bigger, because those which are from inside our organization, they have permission, they're onboarded, they can have access, and we trust them. And this is why it becomes so challenging. And when we are talking about our personal information, it's not only intimate pictures. It includes any information related to bank account, address, vehicle registration number, birthday date, location. All of that is considered PII information. And today, around the world, there is already rules and laws related to privacy. Here, for example, we have the GDPR, where we know that the organizations are already paying quite a big fee for this violating the privacy. And here we have an example of British Airways pay approximately 184 million pounds for violating privacy. Marriott Hotel also paying 124 million US dollars for violating privacy. And all of that came to the fundamental topic, which is saying, if we have just zip code, gender, and birthday, we can come to 87% of the American citizens. This is an amazing number. Just imagine yourself with just simple information, which normally organization people are not keeping secretly, the zip code, gender, and birthday. You can address approximately 87% of the American. This is why when you're talking about PII information, you should keep them very secure. And the regulation in Europe is very clear. The fine of violating privacy for European citizens, nevertheless, if they are in Europe or outside Europe, the moment they are EU citizen, you need to comply with that. It came to 20 million euro or 4% from the annual worldwide, the greatest from them. That means your fine can be such big that will impact your organization. But let me tell you something. Learning the GDPR itself is not enough. Because like any rule or any regulation which has such a huge financial impact, it's a living, it's changing. Normally certification and compliance is for 1 year. In that case, you need to follow what is going into court. In court, there are also other situations which is coming. There is decision of court which is also influencing, for example, when we have what is called Shermes 2, which are impacting and influencing related to encryption, how to do anonymization, how to do pseudo-anonymization, and all of that are things that you need to take care when you are providing services, when you build your new startup, when you create a new product. All of these topics already need to be included in your design. If you don't do it, you will get a fine, which can generate for you a severe financial damage. In some cases, can take you down. For that, it's also expanding around the world. We can look, for example, in US. In US, there is also a privacy regulation where it's called CCPA, and it's expanding. It started before COVID last year. It's part of multiple countries already, nations in US, and it's getting more and more acceptance. You need to look and understand what is required from your perspective if you try to sell something in US or in Europe or other countries which have specific laws to comply with it, because otherwise you will get a huge penalty. Additionally, there is a strong connection, as I told you, between cybersecurity and COVID related to privacy. Governments around the world are tracking our movement. They want to know each one of us where we are, with whom we come in contact. Because if you or the other person are sick with COVID, they want to know this and track you down and tell you you need to go to isolation. But in the end of the day, they are violating our privacy. So the question here that we are raising is, who can we trust? is there any trust model here that we can trust? Think about yourself. You're doing currently a new startup in your current organization, in your current institute. Who you trust? We said internal employees, you saw what happened. External, of course, you cannot trust external. So who you don't want to trust? Let me give you another. I'm hearing someone saying the hardware, the PCs, the server. You sure? Let's talk about hardware. I'm sure you are familiar with these pictures. Let's look on the left side picture. What is that? Correct. This is a charger, a public transportation charger, like we have in bus, tram. USB connector. What we have here in the middle. This is a new electrical power that we have today in hotels. This is something that I always said, very, very nice. You know, the hotel is already thinking about me, that I don't need to bring my electricity power charger. They give me very nice of them. They give me directly the USB. Never, but never connect yourself directly to a USB for charging. This is like opening your safe door to the attacker. Let him in. Here is it. Connect to my USB, go inside. Take everything that you want. And never accept gifts which are connected to USB. Even if someone gives you in a conference a mouse or a disk on key which have a USB connector, never connect this USB to your PC. Never. Be careful. You cannot trust hardware. Make yourself a good habit. Bring your own power supply from home directly to 110 volts or 220, and refuse to get USB gifts. You can maybe, there are enough other gifts that you can get without getting something which is connected to your USB. So this brings us to the question where we want to invest our majority of money. Should we invest them in identify, protect, detect, response, or recover? Here, there are different philosophies. Let me tell you something. It's well known that already today we are saying, and our basic assumption in cybersecurity is that if you are a target for a cyber attack, it's already game over. Game over, that means the attacker will penetrate. If you don't believe me, ask the US government. 18,000 system has been hacked. Ask any company which lately has been under attack. If someone asked them before, they will say, no, we have enough investment around our cybersecurity protection. We are protected. And then they learn in the hard way that there is no such a thing. So where you should invest? You should invest the majority of activity in responding to the cyber attack and the way that you can recover. The moment you are ready for that, first, cyber attack will come as a surprise, okay? We don't know when it will happen. Normally, it will happen over a weekend or over a holiday, where your tension, less people in the office, less visualization of what is happening, enable them to spread sometimes a little bit more faster. And then you need to be ready to give the right response and to be able to recover as soon as possible. And I will say more than that. During the cyber attack, you need to be ready to continue with your business. You cannot say to your customer, please don't contact us in the next 24 hours. We are very busy. Sorry, we are busy with a cyber attack. We will come back to you in maybe a day or two. Doesn't make sense. We need to continue to serve our customers. This is why I strongly recommend focus around the response and the recoveries. For that, this gives us the direction to the next thing that we want to do. And the next thing is moving forward for creating commonality in the language. Please make yourself familiar with the military attack website, where I didn't find any cyber attack around the world that it's not already exists there, the description. And this creates us some very nice framework that by numbering the attacks, we can get a unified description. So not everybody will start writing and describing every attack as the way he wants to describe it. No, we have a common things. We just need to find the right number. And we say, this is the number which describe our attack. Based on that, people can go and read the details. Create our life much simpler and much common around the world. The other thing that you need to be familiar is related to standardization. And we have multiple standardization in cybersecurity, unfortunately. But it's needed because every business domain have different cybersecurity requirements and regulation. You need to learn the stuff related to you. So we have from one side, common cybersecurity, which is the ISO 27001. We have for the financial industry, we have the common criteria, which is the ISO 15408, which also is targeting software hardware solution for ITs. And also we have industrial control stuff. So this is the things that you need to learn. Or if you are building a car, there is a need for a new car, there is new cybersecurity requirements. You need to follow and understand the standardization and what required from your side to comply to this standardization, because the moment you are complying with this standardization, it enables you to participate in tenders, show that someone verify your cybersecurity. It doesn't enough. You need additionally to that to have include penetration test. Additionally to that, you will need to build your own life cycle management, secure development. You will need to build the secure protocols, authentication, data integrity, tamper-proof for the hardware. You will need to build all of that as fundamental. But this will create for you order. This will put you in the right place where these are all coming together. And the last thing that I would like to describe to you before we are concluding for today is, as more we are becoming more connected, we are more vulnerable. For example, if you have these smart watches, if you have these sensors that measure your steps and you know how many calories you burn today, all of that collect data on you. This is under cybersecurity attack, vulnerable to your smart city for your manufacturing activity. Be careful. Don't hesitate to contact with any question, any topic that you want. I'm available here. You have my detailed contact here. I wish you a wonderful conference and hope to see you soon face-to-face, or in Israel or in Brazil or both. Thank you very much. Warm regards from Israel.
Hello, everybody. I'm very excited to be here. My name is MENNY BARZILAY, and we're going to talk about the future of cybersecurity. We only have 15-20 minutes, so I'm going to do it very fast, and I'm going to try to touch the most important aspects of the things happening right now in the cybersecurity world. So let me just start by introducing myself, who I am and what I do. I will tell you 3 things about myself. I'm not going to go through my whole CV and my whole life. We're just going to talk about 3 things. Number 1, I work at the Cyber Research Center at the Tel Aviv University. It's the Interdisciplinary Cyber Research Center at the Tel Aviv University. And by interdisciplinary, what we mean is that we are combining cyber with other themes. So we might have cyber and legal, we might have cyber and physics, we might have cyber and sociology, or whatever it is. So we have amazing research papers coming out of the research center. We have funded more than 100 senior researchers and 300 students, and there are real significant findings coming out of the research center at the Aviv University. Those are some of the amazing people that we have there and some of the amazing names. This is just I just took a short screenshot from the website, but there are so many other amazing people in the research center, and you should go to the website, the ICRC, the Interdisciplinary Cyber Research Center, and you would find what we do. Another thing that we do there is that we are doing the International Cyber Week, where usually before the COVID-19 started, before the world has gone crazy, we had people from over 90 countries, 90 countries arriving in Israel to participate in the Cyber Week, 5 days in the Tel Aviv University. The Tel Aviv University has become a hub for cyber excellence, and we had anyone and everyone coming to the Tel Aviv University. Obviously, COVID-19 forced us to move to a digital version during 2020, but we already announced the dates for 2021. It's going to happen during July 2021, and it's going to be a hybrid event, but mostly physical. So if you're interested in cybersecurity and you can travel and arrive at Israel, you should definitely come there. It's going to be amazing. The second thing about myself is that I'm a partner at a company called Cytactic. And what we do is that we help organizations all over the world to deal with cyber crisis incidents. So if a company is getting hacked, bad things happen, usually they will call us and we will come there to help them. We meet companies during their lowest times when they need help. And the third thing, that if you want to learn more about who I am and what I do, you can just go to my website, mennyb.com. I also have a free newsletter. Once a week, I send the most important news in cyber. You can join. It's free, and it's always going to be free. It's easy to join. It's easy to unsubscribe if you don't like it. So it's on my website, mennyb.com. This is it. We're going to talk about the future. And we don't need we don't need to be fortune tellers to know that in the years to come, we will see more cyber incidents. Actually, even though we had so many cybersecurity success stories, so many cybersecurity companies, we had so many cybersecurity startups and entrepreneurs, companies are getting hacked. Everything, it seems, hackable. And not just small companies, big companies, well-known companies, famous companies that have a lot of money. Those companies have the best tools. They have the smartest people. Those companies are getting hacked again and again and again. And if the big ones cannot stop cyber attacks, what would everyone else do? Actually, it's almost impossible to find a significant company, a well-known company that hasn't experienced a cyber attack. But there is a small secret that you should know about cyber incidents. And it is that most of the cyber incidents in the world don't even reach the newspaper. Yeah, and we help a lot of those companies, and we know that if they don't have to disclose the incident, if the laws don't force them to disclose this incident, the CEO would usually decide to keep it quiet. So you should always remember that the list of attacked companies is much longer than what most people actually know about. And incidents are amazing. We have talented and smart attackers trying to attack the biggest organizations around the world. A significant company is always only in one of two states. Either the company is before getting hacked or during an incident. This is it. And everybody should understand and acknowledge that. And it happened because this is the first time in history where crime is being led by the smartest people in the world. Smart and brilliant people. It's not those kids that sit and they're using their computers to try and hack their schools. We're talking about smart and creative people, some of the most creative people around the world. And when smart and creative and innovative people lead the crime world, it shouldn't surprise us that crime itself is smart and innovative. And we're seeing a lot of things, one of which is the fact that the crime world has become an industry, a crime industry with companies, with different experts, with collaboration, marketplaces, business structure. This is an industry. And by some research papers, this industry, the revenues that it makes exceeds $1.5 trillion annually. That means that if the crime industry was a country, it was somewhere between the 12 and the 13 countries in the list of countries by revenue. So that's a lot of money in the cyber crime. And those criminals, when eventually they get caught and the police takes pictures of how they live their life, they have amazing lifestyle. Those are real cars bought by real hackers, custom-made cars. This is the hacker. He puts pictures of himself on Instagram holding money. Those are the hackers. You can make a lot of money by being a criminal. And some people still, even though the cyber crime world has become an industry and so many amazing things happen there, people still underestimate the bad guys. They still think about themselves, about the hackers as those kids that try to do better stuff, but they will not invest time and effort in doing that. And what I want to try and convince you today is that this is far from being true. The crime world in the cyberspace is much more sophisticated than what most people think. And then those people are willing to invest much more money and effort than what most people think. So when we have a hacker attacking an organization with a ransomware, I'm sure that most of you have heard this phrase. This is a virus that will encrypt all the files on your computers and it will demand money in Bitcoins for the key. The virus will also steal your information. And if you will not pay, the criminals, the ransomware gang will not give you the key to open your computers and will release the information that they actually stolen. So when we have a hacker attacking an organization, most people think that this is how it looks like, the hacker versus the organization. But this is not the way the crime world works. Usually the sophistication level is much higher. And in our story, we have a lazy hacker. So this is a hacker. He's not a super expert in computers. He knows about hacking, but he's not the best hacker in the world. But mostly he's lazy. This hacker doesn't want to work very hard, and he wants people to do his work for him. So the hacker will not attack the organization with a ransomware because developing a ransomware would require a lot of time and effort. So the hacker will just purchase a ransomware. So there are websites out there from which you can buy ransomware kits, and you can use this ransomware to attack organizations. And usually those companies will have various business channels, and there is some kind of a revenue share, where you keep some of the money and the people who develop the ransomware keep some of the money. Usually it's like 70%, 30%. That means that if I use your ransomware to attack a bank and I ask for $1 million, I will keep $700,000, and the people who develop the ransomware will keep $300,000. So now the lazy hacker has a ransomware. So now you might think, okay, let's put the ransomware inside. But hacking an organization takes time. You need to gather intelligence. You need to find your way in. And we have a lazy hacker. This guy doesn't want to work very hard. So he purchased access. So there are hackers groups out there, which what they do is that they find ways to go inside companies and they sell it to other people. Why do they sell it and not use it themselves? For various reasons. Because actually attacking an organization is a much riskier business. Just by gaining the access, this is not something bad. You didn't steal information, you didn't do anything bad. So even if the police catches you, it's not such a bad thing. Some people don't feel comfortable doing bad things for the organization. So they only do what they feel comfortable doing, which is gaining access, and then they're selling it to someone else. By the way, some hackers gain access, they do what they want to do, put ransomware, steal information, attack the organization, ask for money, and after they finish, they sell this access to someone else. So now we have the hacker, he bought the ransomware, he purchased access, he puts the ransomware inside the organization, lazy hacker. The ransomware stole information and asked for money. In this specific case, the organization didn't want to pay the attacker. So now the hacker has all of this information, the organization is not willing to pay, so what the hacker want to do? He want to sell this information and make money by doing that. Again, a lazy hacker. This guy might go to a third hacking group, which is expert in selling sensitive information and asking money for it. So in this case, what you see, this one scenario where we have an hacker attacking an organization with the ransomware, you actually have 4 criminal groups working together to execute one attack. This is an industry. This is not just a bunch of kids doing something bad. And now I want to tell you a story that happened during August 2020, which for me is a beautiful and a great story for various reasons. Number one, it shows how much effort the hackers are willing to invest in attacking an organization. And two, this story has a happy ending. Not many stories in the cyber world have happy ending. This specific one does, and this is why I like it. So we have a Russian hacker against Tesla. Now, the story goes something like that. We have a Russian citizen named Igor, and Igor has a friend that works for Tesla in the United States. His friend also speaks Russian, and they have known each other for several years. One day, Igor calls his friend from Tesla. He says, "Hello, friend. I'm coming to the United States for a weekend of traveling, having fun with my friends. You should join us." Tesla employee says, "Yeah, sounds great. I will join you." And indeed, they go to some of the most beautiful places in the United States, like Lake Tahoe and other places, and they have a wonderful time. In retrospective, if you would have asked the Tesla employee, he would have told you that something was strange during this trip, because Igor actually avoided taking pictures and participating in any photos. I mean, we've been to some of the most beautiful places in the United States. We took selfies and we took pictures, but Igor tried to avoid everything. When the weekend ended, Igor came to his friend from Tesla and he says, "Hi, comrade. I have something to ask you. I know some people who will be willing to pay you a lot of money for a pretty small favor." And the Tesla employee asks, "Okay, how much is a lot of money?" And Igor says, $500,000. And Tesla employee says, "Well, okay, that's a lot of money, but what do I have to do? What is the small favor?" And Igor says, "I will give you a USB drive, a small discount key. And what you need to do is you need to connect it to your computer and just click something. And this is it, 10 seconds, and you're done with it. You don't even have to connect it to your own computer. You can connect it to someone else's computer, 10 seconds, and you get $500,000. Tesla's employees says, "Okay, sounds interesting. Let me think about that." The employee goes back to his office, immediately notifies his boss, and he notifies his boss, and they go to the FBI, and the FBI says, "Well, that sounds interesting. We want to record Igor say that." So Tesla employee calls Igor and says, I want to meet with you again. I have some more questions. They meet again, and Tesla employee says, well, I'm kind of afraid. I feel that I might be caught. If I connect something to my computer, the security people will notice. And Igor said, not to worry, my friend. I will take care of that. What we will do is that we will settle on a specific time and effort, specific date and time, and when you connect the drive to your computer, we will conduct a DDoS attack, a distributed denial of service attack. That means that we will do something that will take all of Tesla's websites down, and we will create a lot of noise. The security team will be too much occupied with that. They will not notice that for 2 seconds you connected something and this is it. Now Tesla employee says, okay, sounds reasonable, but I feel that I'm taking a big risk. $500,000 is not enough. And Igor says, we will pay you $1 million, either in cash or in Bitcoin, whatever you want. And Tesla employee says, okay, sounds good. He leaves, the FBI comes in and they arrest Igor. And Igor is now going through, he's in jail and they're prosecuting him. So this is an amazing story. Elon Musk, obviously the CEO, owner and founder of Tesla, says on Twitter, much appreciated. This was a serious attack. This is Igor. This is the guy who was arrested, the guy who tried to attack Tesla. Now, this is interesting because usually hackers will enjoy the anonymity that the internet provides them. If you want to attack the United States, you will sit in Indonesia. If you want to attack the UK, you would sit in China or whatever. For a hacker to pick up a suitcase, to go on a plane, to use their passport and visa, to meet the person they're going to attack, to shake their hands, this is serious. This is interesting. And if they're willing to pay $1 billion, this just shows you how much time and effort and how much resources they are willing to invest and how much they believe that they will get back out of it. So because we're running out of time, I just want to try and conclude this presentation. I will just jump to the end if I will be able to do that. Apparently, I'm not able to do that. Let me just jump to the end because I want to be respectful of your time. Yeah. So where do we go from here and what should we know? The challenges ahead of us are much greater than the ones we've already faced. The world is becoming more dependent on technology, smart houses, smart cities, autonomous cars, drones, artificial intelligence, robotics, cryptocurrency, wearables, biotechnology, everything. We're going to be much more dependent on technology. And the thing is that the more we become dependent on technology, the more exposed we become. That means that in order to create a safer future, we need smart people. We need creative people. We need people to work together. Trust is something that we can only create together. We have to make sure that we know how to work together because the hackers are very good in working together. We saw that. They know how to share information, share knowledge, and conduct joint projects. We need the industry to work with the academia. We need people from different countries to keep in touch. And it's very, very important for our future that we would know how to share knowledge and share information and work together. This is not a competition. This is a boat. And we are all in this boat together. So how would wars look like in the future? The thing that people must understand is that the more we become dependent on technology, the more physical damages you can create using technology. Computer virus can make ships go into sea, trains collide, it can make explosions in facilities, it can kill people. So what we would see is that we would see more and more countries leveraging cyber in order to create real life damage. the thing is that countries love moving into cyber for various reasons. Number one, small countries that don't have significant armies, they don't have many airplanes, they don't have many tanks, can actually become cyber power in the cyberspace. And they can do that by purchasing information, purchasing knowledge, hiring hackers from different places around the world. And those hackers might not even know that they work for another government. So we will see small countries move into cyber. Bigger countries, obviously, they have a lot of technological achievements. They would love moving. They love moving into cybersecurity because it gives them another edge. But I would say the most important aspect of that is that there is not a lot of downside in attacking another country in the cyberspace. Let me explain that. If Israel, for example, or if the United States, for example, would send one soldier to Russia, one soldier, with one gun and one bullet to shoot some leader, I don't know, the president or someone, try to shoot this person. One soldier, one gun, one bullet, one shot, and this guy will miss. He will not kill anyone. We would have World War starting. Just by the fact that an official soldier was sent to another country with a gun, we will have World War starting. But at the same time, if you will have 10,000 hackers attacking 10,000 different targets in Russia, doing terrible things, the United States president, the American president, and the Russian president could still talk and still do things together and still work together. The cyberspace allows you a greater level of freedom. So we would see more and more of the world conflict moving into the cyberspace. It would, at some point, it might even not exactly replace physical aspects of attack, but it is obvious that the future of war is in robotics and artificial intelligence. So software and applications and algorithms will control the battlefield. And this will happen. And the first country that will be able to develop a sophisticated artificial intelligence system that will be able to control drones and autonomous vehicles in the battlefield will be able to control the world. So this is about that. The second thing is, how do people and what should people do to protect themselves in the cyberspace? So let me give you a few tips and things that everybody should do in order to make sure that they are protected in the cyberspace. Number one, make sure you are aware of the dangers. I mean, when you get a car, that the government forced you to go through this whole process of learning how to drive a car, getting a license, making sure that you're following specific rules. And if you don't follow those rules, someone might catch you. In the cyberspace, we don't have that. Computers can be as dangerous as cars. People get killed because they did something wrong. They published the wrong thing. A sensitive picture got leaked. Various things lead to the fact that people commit suicide or destroy people's lives. But everybody can get a computer at any age, and they can do whatever they want. So the first thing is to remember that every click counts. You are always one click away from something terrible. Every click counts. You should know that. Number two, make sure you protect your life. Use complicated passwords. Don't use the same password for different websites. Why? Because hackers cannot attack sophisticated websites like Facebook, Google, and others. Those are very hard to attack websites, yet those are the websites, those are the accounts that the hacker wants. So what hackers are doing is that they attack those small and insignificant websites. And the moment they are able to do that, they steal all the username and passwords for those websites. And anyone who used the same username and passwords for different websites, the hackers have a system that will check those username and passwords on many, many different websites. And if you use the same ones, they will take control over your account on many different websites. So have a different password for different websites. If it's hard for you to remember what is what is the way, like all of those passwords, and you want to know what is an easy way to do that. So you can either use a password manager that will keep all of those passwords for you, or you can have the system where you translate the website name into a password. For example, your system might be take the first letter, take the last letter, take the number of letters, and add something. So Facebook would be the first letter F, the last letter is K, the number of letters is 8, so we have FK8, and now add something which is constant, like this is my password. So FK8, this is my password. Another thing, so this will allow you to translate every website into a password. Lock your phone, make sure your phone is locked, because your phone is the digital entrance door to your digital life. If someone takes control of your phone, they have access to your emails, they have access to your data, they have access to everything. They can reset your password in every service out there. Make sure you guard your phone. Don't install applications from sources you don't know of. Don't use cracked and hacked applications. Don't click on links that you don't know where they're coming from. If my brother sent me on Facebook something on the chat that he says like, this is funny, you should look at it, I always ask him, are you a virus or are you really my brother? And if he says I'm your brother, I tell him prove it, and then he writes something, and then by that I know if he is really my brother. Because what hackers are doing is that they're taking control over people's accounts and sending messages to all of their friends, because if your friends send you a link, it's much more probable that you click on it. And the last thing, always ask questions. It's very, very important to be curious and ask questions. I ask questions all the time. People ask me all the time. Make sure that if you don't know something, ask. If you're not sure on how to do something, ask. Make sure you have someone to ask and share your information and share your knowledge. So those are just a few tips on how to protect yourself on the digital world. What I would encourage you is to do 3 things. Number 1, check out the Interdisciplinary Cyber Research Center website. Check out the dates for Cyber Week 2021 and make sure you register either for the physical event or the virtual event. You would enjoy everything going on there. Number 2, go to my website, join my newsletter. You will get 1 email every week, no more, no less. Just 1 email every week with all the interesting stuff that happened in cyber in the past week. Number 3, if you have any questions, if there is something you want to ask me, there is my email, this is my website. Just keep in touch and let's do things together. Thank you so much for listening, and I'm really, really happy that I had this chance to talk to you today.
Bueno, espero que hayan disfrutado las charlas tanto como las disfruté yo. Me parece súper interesante haber escuchado a estas personas de la Universidad de Tel Aviv que nos trajeron información muy interesante respecto a lo que está pasando con la ciberseguridad y la inteligencia artificial en el mundo. Me quedé con un montón de notas. Yo soy de la vieja escuela de tomar notas en cuadernos. La primera charla de Jacob MENDEL me resultó muy interesante su comparativa, ¿no?, con la pandemia, ¿no? La idea de que en ciberseguridad va a pasar algo muy parecido con el COVID, que es que todo lo que aprendimos en el pasado no se parece nada al futuro que se viene, remarcando 4 pilares en lo que es la disrupción tecnológica, que son la inteligencia artificial, el blockchain, la ciberseguridad y data analytics, y poniendo a la ciberseguridad como uno de los 4 aspectos primarios en la revolución, en las disrupciones y revoluciones tecnológicas que se vienen para los próximos años, que él resumen ABCD, porque por la A de inteligencia artificial, la B de blockchain, la C de ciberseguridad y la D de análisis de datos o data analytics. La verdad que, de hecho, Jacob termina diciendo algo que yo un poco mencioné al principio, que es que los datos en el siglo XXI son como el petróleo en el siglo XVIII. Me parece muy, muy interesante. De hecho, un dato de color que por ahí complementa lo que yo dije al principio, es que la misma semana que Facebook compró WhatsApp por $17.000 millones, Argentina cerró el acuerdo con la empresa Repsol por la nacionalización de YPF, y mientras Facebook compraba WhatsApp por alrededor de $17.000 millones, Argentina cerraba la compra de Repsol por un valor creo que era 5.000 millones de dólares. Es decir, una petrolera valía menos que una aplicación de chat gratuita que no tiene clientes o que no tiene clientes que pagan. Me parece muy simbólico a esto que decía Jacob, que es los datos en el siglo XXI son el petróleo del siglo XVIII. Y también Jacob, recién mirando las charlas de nuevo, él volvía a esto del contexto legal y normativo, mencionaba GDPR, y me parece muy interesante. Y después, MENNY BARZILAY nos trajo, digamos, una visión un poco más futurista, más asociada a lo que se mal conoce como hacking o ciberataques, respecto a lo que es el futuro de la ciberseguridad, ¿no? Hay un dicho muy conocido que yo dije muchas veces en charlas, que es que hay dos tipos de empresas: las que sufrieron un ataque informático y las que van a sufrirlo. No es un pequeño chiste con esta idea de las que sí, las que no, pero un poco lo usamos mucho, sobre todo cuando trabajamos con empresas, para que entiendan que nadie está a salvo de los ataques informáticos. Y me resultó muy interesante lo que mencionaba MENNY, que cada vez más empresas intentan ocultar los ataques informáticos, o los CISOs, que son los gerentes de seguridad informática, deciden no comunicar que sufrieron un ataque porque los deja mal parados, porque pone en juego su trabajo, en muchos casos hasta incluso legalmente. Y acá hay dos aspectos, ¿no? Por un lado me hacía repensar este dicho, ¿no? Quizás hay tres tipos de empresas: las que fueron atacadas y no lo dicen, y las que serán atacadas, pero al final del día todas las organizaciones probablemente estén en uno de estos tres grupos. Y al mismo tiempo, atando, ¿no? con la charla anterior de Jacob, que mencionaba esto de las normativas, justamente por este aspecto que es cada vez más importante que haya acuerdos para cuidar la información, que ahora voy a volver sobre algo que dijo MENNY también, es que las normativas empiezan a obligar a las empresas, y cada vez más las empresas, cuando están alcanzadas por alguna regulación, se comprometen y tienen la obligación de comunicar si tuvieron un incidente informático. Por eso es que quizás en los últimos años muchos de ustedes habrán empezado a ver que les llegan correos electrónicos en donde las empresas le dicen: miren, tuvimos un ataque informático, esto es lo que pasó, esto es lo que estamos haciendo. Bueno, esto es producto un poco de la maduración del mercado, pero bastante del rol que cumplen las regulaciones en este tipo de aspectos. MENNY también comentó que el cibercrimen mueve mucho dinero, ¿no? Mostraba algunos números bastante abrumadores respecto a la complejidad. Y decía algo que a mí me gustó mucho y que quiero usar para cerrar, que es esto de no subestimar a los malos. A veces, yo que puntualmente hace 12 años me dedico a hacer investigación en el campo de la seguridad informática, me gustó porque él decía: estamos trabajando todo lo unidos, estamos trabajando en equipo como tendríamos que trabajar quienes nos dedicamos a proteger los sistemas informáticos, los datos y la información. Porque, como bien decía MENNY, nosotros sabemos y tenemos evidencia que los hackers trabajan en conjunto, que se comunican, que trabajan de forma organizada, y a veces la sinergia entre el sector privado, el sector público, universidades, empresas, estados, del lado de la seguridad, del lado de la protección, creo que no está haciendo todo lo eficiente, y probablemente, como bien decía MENNY, en los próximos años haya mucho trabajo que hacer en ese campo para que siga mejorando el nivel de seguridad que tiene la información. La verdad, para mí ha sido un placer, espero que hayan disfrutado esta segunda sesión del Innovation Day. Quiero agradecer a los amigos de la Universidad de Tel Aviv en Argentina por haberme permitido moderar esta sesión y este espacio. Y como les dije, yo disfruté mucho viendo las charlas, soy un apasionado por esta problemática y espero que haya sido igual para ustedes ahora que estamos terminando. Que tengan unas buenas tardes y que sigan disfrutando del evento.